Number 55, roll Rotary.
Cover up the rest of us. I don't do so well with things.
Ned Connor, what year were you president? Well, approximately. Give us an approximation. I can't think that.
What decade was it?
Before, after Steve Peters. I'm thinking it was 1999. Okay. 1998 for you, George? No. That he was president. Not 83. 93. Okay. No, Ned said later. Okay, well, let's, for the sake now, we'll say 99. And Jim played your favorite song today, right? Yeah. Okay. Those that were here when Ned was president, and you had to use a songbook for Hale Rotary, that's important.
We've been doing that song now.
Well, that's there's a new song. I do like that song.
I did get $1 for John Pricey. Does he have a guilty conscience? Or?
I'll get an order for that.
Well, I didn't have to use it, but I think I got the words. I probably will make sure.
President John,
Yes.
this is your last meeting in Embers as our leader.
I don't know how to take that on.
Don't worry about it.
I would take the applause, but it's $1.
It's $1, thank you. You told me to get my money out. Is there anything else you want to?
Well, hockey's over, so
Hockey's over, yes.
I don't follow baseball, so understand that. Vacations. Anybody gone on vacation lately? Out of town, out of state? Gene, where'd you go?
I went to see my niece in New Mexico.
Having a good trip, I take it? Good. And here you go.
There were no kids involved.
Jim Dubin. It was reported that you've been on TV. And it was not cops. Channel 18 for the Red Cross. Thank you.
He did that.
And it was suggested to me that I find Brad Tozer for no apparent reason. Then I was told that Brad paid $1 as he came in. Now, do you have a guilty conscience, or did you do
I
something?
paid 5 because I owed 2 from last time.
Well, thank you. Dan Ryan.
I knew that was coming. Are you Frank's like ambassador? Or?
I am, yes. I studied under him for years and years. Good to have you here. Those who don't know, Dan Ryan from the Wheatfield Club, DeMont Wheatfield. But I'm not going to have you pay.
Really?
No. Is there
There's
somebody,
gotta be-
is there
there's a
somebody
catch
here?
here
Is there
somewhere.
somebody here that you work with?
Well, that person I think would want to put $1 in for me and her.
Okay. I'll take that logic.
And I could loan it to her if I need to.
Glad I retired.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ann, was that you? Yeah.
Jim Wakefield, no fine. Good to see you here. You come back and see us more often.
Hi, Jim.
All right. You had any birthdays or anniversaries in June that we missed?
Sunday, I will celebrate living with the same woman for 63 years.
Anybody else? Happy dollars?
Yeah, 3 on third grandchild, 5:30 this morning.
Morgan graduated, AV, and then I've been with Extension 10 years.
I got a hat you buck on behalf of President John. I made it back from behind him getting without spraying you.
I gotta find myself. We're always finding ways to make money for the club. So I went out and, above the board and without any permission, but using the Rover name, I went and bought 3 gondolas, and we're now charging for
You know, this self-fighting thing to catch on. Thanks, Felicia, for carrying the pig, and thank you, Fred, for most of those fines. And Anne Marie and Jim for the music today, and Craig Hooker for being a greeter, and Jim for providing us with our prayer today. This is the last one here. Oh my goodness. Went by pretty quick sometimes. But we want to welcome our guests today. Certainly, Ian Ryan was introduced already. We all know him. We all love him. We forgot the 6-pack today. Again, I'm sorry.
I'll come back tonight.
I don't know. It's still time, right? Sherry Warrison, thank you very much for. She's always crafts those pictures just perfectly. I lose about 30 pounds. I appreciate that. And we're glad you're all here today. When we started this journey a long time ago, I said I would. We have some announcements from the floor. First of all, I want a special shout out to Matt Robertson. Pork Burgers are coming up quickly, and he's gone out and found us some free pigs. Is that right?
They were all donated.
donated,
They're just floating.
donated.
Yeah.
To the Park Workers, and I know we have some other anonymous people who donated. I don't have the permission to say anything about their generosity, but we always appreciate that. And of course, it turns around, that means President Chris could find more ideas to help spend more money next year. That's good. We have to spend it all, but practically. I'm going to save my comments for next week when we have our change of gavel, but I have a lot of thank yous certainly. But today's a very special day for me in that I've been in Rotary since 1986. And every year I've asked my wife if she would join Rotary, and at the change of gavel dinner I said I'd like you to join Rotary because I have this crazy idea that we're going to bring in 20 new members this year. And got down to the wire and I said, you know, why don't we sit amongst everybody next year so we can have lunch together? Yeah. Isn't that nice? Isn't that sweet? And so she said she would join our club today. So she's going to be inducted today. And our dear friend Dan Ryan said he would come when it was time for us to initiate our 20th new member for this year. So if I can, at this time, I'll stay on line.
It's quite an honor to be here today under these circumstances. I was at if you'll remember, your change of gavel meeting last year, and when John said we're going to get 20 new members, I don't think I'm the only one that thought, he's finally gone off the deep end. This is it. I'd served as John's foundation chair when he was district governor, so I know Marlene very well. But you know, if you think about the logic of it, Dr. John and I were talking about this, when he said we're going to do 20 members, I've been in Rotary a long time, and a lot of times people say we're going to gain 2 new members, and what everybody in the room thinks is, well, then that person's going to go get the new member, not me. And what happens is nobody gets a new member, and a couple of people leave the club, and then a couple more, next thing you know, you're a struggling club. So, and certainly Rensselaer has really come a long, long way this year as a Rotary. So congratulations to John for your challenge, but also for the club coming together. You have good leadership and like-minded people, and wonderful things can happen. I'd be amiss if I didn't also acknowledge Dr. John, who I know probably has cramps in writing all of those notes that you need to be joining Rotary in Rensselaer. Our incoming president, K.R. Easy for me to say, Ravindran Ravi, as he's known, he's a real common sense business type of individual. I've met him a couple of times. But if you look at your July Rotarian that you just got, it mentions, there's an article about him, and within that, he says he's often introduced as a self-made man, and I'd have to admit that several times where I've introduced someone as a self-made man, but he says, quote, "You've got to be utterly egocentric to believe you're self-made. Each one of us is made because so many people helped us become who we are." So when you think about, well, what's Rotary mean to me? Does it mean the fellowship and the social aspect? Certainly it's that. Does it mean we're going to light up Rensselaer because of Rensselaer Rotary and the community things we can do? And as you just mentioned, the challenge to Chris and to all those new members is we're this much larger. Maybe we could be doing some new projects in the community. It's certainly that. It also means you are part of the world's largest service organization in the world, where when we do international matching grants, for every dollar you donate, 95 cents of that gets to the recipient, because so many people involved with this are Rotarians, and we're doing it as volunteers. So it's all of those things, and I would challenge you not to just enjoy Rotary as a lunch club meeting, but to get involved. As Paul Harris said, He profits most who serves the best, and you will get out of Rotary in proportion to the efforts that you put into it. So, Arlene, if you would come forward. You are joining 1.2 million Rotarians who will care for you as family, because you've already been around all this nuts for so many years, and we already know you as family. But I think beyond that, you have the opportunity to develop your leadership skills even further than they are now, while you're maintaining and growing friendships that will last your lifetime. So I'm extremely honored to have this privilege today, and I welcome you to Rotary. As a banker, I'm checking out the coin. th member.
You didn't kiss me when I joined.
Thank you, Dan. I probably didn't give the appropriate, and he's a member of the Vermont Rotary Club, has been president there, served as foundation chair for many years, and really brought the foundation up under his leadership in the district. He did so well that he thought that if we had more members, we would grow the foundation that way. And so he volunteered to be membership chair for the district, and I'm proud to serve with him in that regard. But even further, we all knew that at one point in time, Dan, this date of the year, Dan Ryan can be president, or governor rather, and he is going to be governor in about 10 years, I think. Oh. 3 years?
15, I hope.
15 years, but he is in the line of succession to become governor. So we're really proud and privileged and honored by your presence here today, and thankful for our friendship, which I would not have had without Rotary. And thank you so very much. A round of applause for David Ryan. So many other things to do, but I think it's time for our honored guest today. And I just say before that she came here despite a tree coming down through her roof. Yeah, tree came down through her roof, but she's still here today. So Chris, would you like to do the introduction? I can do it, okay. Amber Lobeck is the executive director of the Crisis Center, and we've donated, Rotary Club has donated $250 to the Crisis Center, and then it was suggested by our board meeting that we auction those things off, and we're going to auction off the items we bought at the Radiothon, to be at the annual dinner, Changing Gavel dinner, including wine tasting and Sox Cubs tickets to Fountain Stone Theater. We have a Blue and IU throw rug, and also something very nice from the rest of their laundry room. So, courtesy of Steve and Angie Platt, we're going to do our auction this week. But anyway, with that, I'd like to bring Amber Bodak up here to talk to us about the Crisis Center. Amber, do a round of applause.
Appreciate you having me here today to discuss the Crisis Center and all we do. And I would also like to thank the Rotary for your extreme generosity, not just for monetary, but donating the food to the shelter after all these meetings. A lot of my clients look forward to that. We have such a tight budget that it's a treat to them. It's almost like going out to eat. And so we actually have it blocked off on our menu. They look forward to it. A little bit about the Crisis Center. We handle mainly domestic violence, sexual assault, dating violence, stalking, a bunch of different forms of abuse to not only women, but also men and their families. We provide a shelter for them, a safe home environment that is, I know a lot of people picture it as institutional, but it's really very homey. It has bedrooms, and we have a living room, a playroom, a kitchen. It's almost more like communal living. We offer a bunch of different programs, not just to our residents that are actually there, but we also do non-residential programs for clients who aren't quite ready to make that move to leave or just need a little bit more support before they are able to get out there on their own. And so we have advocates that go out and talk to the clients and help them through their troubles, and just be like soundboards, bouncing things off, helping them with budgeting, finding housing, finding employment, and sometimes we even help financially to help these clients stabilize. We have a 24-hour hotline for anyone to call to help me handle not just domestic violence, but we'll get calls about suicide, drug addiction, and just people who need to talk. The shelter is very important to the community. We take care of a lot of people. We not only try to help the victims and the homeless, but we also try to increase awareness, which is what I'm really trying to do with the shelter right now. I've started articles once a month in papers in all 3 counties that we service. We've been doing education programs. Our child advocate goes out to the schools and discusses different forms of violence, bullying, body safety, just to reach the kids when they're young. And she also does stuff with the children that are actually in the shelter, because a lot of times they will repeat what they see. And so we try to help them process that so that they know this isn't how it's supposed to be. There is a different way for families to act and actually show love for each other than through violent words or physical abuse or financial abuse. All these different things really affect the victims. And that's what we're there for. We're there to give them hope. We're there to educate the public and help them get back on their feet. And a lot of people who come through our doors are just like, thank you. I would never have made it without you guys. Because sometimes friends and family will shut the door on victims who keep going back, because it's very stressful for any family member to witness a loved one go back, go back, and go back. And sometimes they're just like, I've had it, I'm not going to do it anymore. But that's where we come in. We're there no matter what. And every time a victim goes back, but yet comes to us, we see it as that victim is one step closer to leaving for good. And as long as they know that there's that support for them, then they feel secure in the decision. Because we don't make the decisions for them, but we're there with them through the different processes, through the protective orders, through looking at their housing, through finding jobs and helping them see, okay, well, this is the first time I have my own money, but I can't go crazy with it. I need this much for utilities, this much for rent, this much for food. We're just kind of a jack of all trades, if you will, by supporting people and educating the community and really getting the word out there, because one of my biggest things is we're in rural communities, which unlike the bigger areas, our victims don't have as much support as the cities do. And it takes longer for police to get out to them. And so we just really want people to know We're here to help you guys, and we will do whatever it takes to help you. If they would just give us a call. Does anyone have any questions for me, or, yes?
Is the folks that come to you, is that through the police department, or is that through the hotline, or is that word of mouth?
Actually, it's a little bit of all. I mean, we will get referrals from the police department, but sometimes clients will lie and say, I fell down the stairs, or, you know, this didn't happen like that. But sometimes it's referrals through the police department. They'll actually send us a form, and it'll be marked whether or not they want us to call them. We also put posters up in public areas, usually in the bathroom, so that the user won't see them, take a sticker that has our phone number on it. And also, some of the people in the audience will say that I've also been putting a lot more word out with our phone number through the radio, through the newspaper, and also a lot of prosecutors will work with us as well, as do the hospitals. We also do trainings for police departments, different, like sheriffs, local police, hospitals. We're actually assisting with the same training that will be going on this weekend to help people understand what to look for abuse victims and how to help them. Yes?
I know a lot of times you see where the abuser swears on a staff they're never going to do it again. And I was wondering, since this is a lot of times learned behavior, they saw their parents do it, is it like a child molester that can never reform, or are there cases where with counseling or law enforcement intervention an abuser can actually never do it again? Or is it hopeless?
I never believe anything is hopeless. I think there is always hope for anyone, but like anyone with a problem, they have to admit that it is a problem and actually be honest with themselves, not just say, oh, well, it's a problem because the courts told me this is a problem and so now I have to go through this abuse training. I think they really have to commit to working on it, and then I think they could reform, for lack of a better term, and learn how they really should act. But some of the problems with that is, like you said, they're raised in that environment, so they don't really know the difference. But another problem is that's one of the ways to get the victims back is say, I've learned my lesson, I'm going to counseling, it'll never happen again. And, you know, let's all be honest to ourselves. If it happened to us and a loved one was like, I'll never do that again, you'd give them another shot, wouldn't you? I mean, seriously, deep down inside, you want to believe that lie, even though maybe your brain is saying, warning, warning, Will Robinson, but your heart is saying, I want to believe this. Which is one of the reasons why, you know, we always look at every time they come back to us, this is time closer. Yes?
So on a scale of 1 to 10, the husband is preventing his wife from driving the car, checking her cell phone messages. How serious a level of abuse is that?
It depends on what's going on with it. See, usually there's not just one form of abuse going on at a time. That goes along with controlling, and if they're controlling that aspect, there's other signs going on in the life. Maybe you're not going out dressed like that, or who are you meeting? Or maybe there's a little bit tighter control over the purse strings. I mean, there's so many different forms of abuse and they all tie together. A lot of people look at it as, it's obvious she's an abuse victim because she has a black eye. But what about the women and men who don't have the black eyes? Everything, all their bruises are internal. You know, their emotions are shot, their souls are scarred. Because sometimes that psychological abuse cuts deeper than any form of physical abuse ever could. Yes?
I realize that for the safety and security of the clients of the center, the exact address of the place is not to be known to and by the general public. Do you have a post office box number?
Yes, we actually do have a post office box number, and that is where our clients will, the advocates will help them with public assistance and other things. And that is the address that they give people. And usually a lot of public offices recognize this and they go along with that.
What's the average length of stay of your residents?
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, I have a little frog in my throat here. Well, that varies too. We have a guideline, 30 to 45 days. But here's the trick with that. We have some clients that try so hard. You know, they got a job lined up, but they're trying to earn enough money to get stable, or they found an apartment, but it's not going to be open until this date. So with some clients, we will extend it on a week-by-week basis, depending on need and how strong they are working with the system. Because, like all nonprofits, there are some clients who come in and just watch TV, won't work with us until like a week before they realize they're leaving, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I better do something. But, you know, so we go on a case-by-case basis on whether or not we will extend certain stays. Yes, ma'am?
What's your capacity and are you often full?
Our capacity, well, we have 15 beds, but we also have pull-out couches, some cots that we have pulled out, so we can handle probably about 18 to 20 people. In all actuality, fill up, that kind of is like a wave. It comes and goes. With the summer months coming, there's actually studies that show that as the heat rises, so do tempers. And we tend to fill up a lot more, almost above and beyond capacity, as the temperatures rise within the summer. However, we also have books of other shelters that if we cannot house clients, we actually make calls to other shelters to find them housing, and we will transport them to those shelters. So we don't just leave people high and dry. Yes?
Where's the nearest other one?
The nearest shelter?
Outside of this one.
There's a shelter in Crown Point, and then there's a shelter in Lafayette, so about equal distance. Our shelter handles actually 3 counties, so we get called a lot more.
So that's Jasper.
Pulaski, yes.
Who cooks?
Who cooks? That kind of back and forth. The staff will sometimes help out, especially during holidays. Mainly it is the clients themselves that cook. They usually take turns cooking meals for the house and doing chores, cleaning up and stuff like that.
Do they buy the food?
No, a lot of them come in with little to no money. We actually purchase the food. We have budgets. We also have assistance from food finders and some other places that will donate food. And that's one of the things we're always taking for donations. Just keep in mind, this food just to help out with the shelter, hamburger, you know, basic staples. Yes, ma'am.
Are there any shelters close that do families instead of, you know, just one of the spouses?
What do you mean families?
So that if they're, whether it's, let's say it's some type of substance abuse instead of violence, and the whole family needs support. Are there any family shelters around?
Not that I know of, because a lot of times it's to keep the victims separate from the abusers as a precaution. They'll do family therapies, but I've never heard of a shelter that actually does them together, because it can also make the other victims within the house feel very uncomfortable, especially if something breaks out. I mean, that's one of the rules all the shelters have, is we do not re-victimize and we do not threaten within the shelters, because all you're doing is bringing flashbacks to a lot of clients.
What's your capacity of people been using?
Well, I know recently we had 15 children and 5 women. Which we really appreciated when you guys had the cookies, because the kids went gaga over that. It was really, really nice, because they got a treat and they were very happy, except for when the mom said, "That's enough until after dinner."
Can you give us at least one success story that you, someone that stayed at the shelter?
Actually, I could, we have a client right now who's still there, but immediately she got a job. She's been working very, very hard. She has an apartment lined up and has been saving money, and it was really cute, because when she got her first full paycheck, she was so excited. She was showing everybody at the house. And she's like, "Look at me, I have all this money." And her kids were joking around about increases in the allowances. But she's really working hard and has done a lot. She has traveled a very long way, and she's decided to make Rensselaer her home. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Amber didn't tell you she had notes. But when the tree came down in the house, she left her notes at the house. I thought, good all that. Our theme this year is Light Up Rotary. And it's stories like you, that you have, that light up the world. The caring and the giving and the selfishness. And we all here are trying to make a difference in the world, and you certainly have made a difference in a lot of people's lives. And we appreciate your service. And with that, I have a special flashlight, so if Howard doesn't go out again next time, you have some way to find your way around a special flashlight. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
Again, I'd like to remind you that we will not have a meeting next Tuesday, but the meeting will be Monday at Curtis Creek Country Club. Beverages at 6, dinner at 6:30. We'll be installing our new president. I'm so excited for that. We already have awards, and actually more about thank yous for all that everybody has done this year. And we will have an auction, and proceeds will go to the Crisis Center to help make a difference for them. And we're trying to upgrade their garages, who are totally in disarray, and they need some help there, and they don't have money from other places, so we're hoping to make that one project for this coming year. I think Chris is on board with that. We just discovered that here recently, so we're looking forward to that. We hope you come out to our J.P. Gamble dinner. I know Ann Cecilia's worked very hard, and she'll be calling you if you haven't get your reservations. I know Rotarians never wait to the last minute. I know that.
The sheet's there on the first table by the attendance sheet, so we have.
Sign up over here if you would, please. We, without any other announcements, we would like to have a drawing. Orville is our chief guy in charge of the money.
We broke the sanction mark for
$104 to the 50/50. And Amber's gonna do the drawing here. If I win, I'll tell my wife.
That's the four digits. 3630.
3630.
Right here.
All right. Heather.
Good luck, John.
We always say we're rooting for you. Queen of Hearts is what we're looking for if you're new members. 50% goes to the person that wins, and 50% goes to the Rotary Foundation in their name. So we changed that rule this year. And here, Ace, well, congratulations. Thank you very much. Round of applause. This is a